So this video is about creating a KDP business with almost no money. In this video, I'm going to go through if it's possible to create a real sustainable business with zero budget and what you can do about that. I see a lot of people that say, create a book in less than an hour, or you can create a low content business with zero budget. But I'm going to tell you the truth. If you create a book in less than an hour and you publish it on KDP, Amazon, and you expect that you're going to get sales, here's the harsh truth. You're not going to make any sales. So you're going to say, Cindy, I don't have any time. I don't have any skills. I don't know how to create a cover. I'm not an illustrator and I'm not a writer and I don't have a budget. What am I going to do? But do you need a lot of money or a lot of skills to start a successful KDP business? And notice I say, and I stress successful because a lot of people can and do create so many books that they don't even rank. That is really just a waste of your time. So how do you start a KDP business, publish books with a low budget and minimal time and still be successful? Are you going to put your money in ghostwriting? Are you going to put your money in an illustrator? Are you going to put your money in someone to create a professional cover for you? Are you going to put your money in marketing and advertising, or even in tools? Because I do talk a lot about tools. That is just so overwhelming, and there's just so much money to spend on just to create one book. No, you don't need to have a huge budget, and that's the most wonderful thing about KDP. And that is really what has allowed a lot of people with no money to be able to create an actual business and change their whole life with. But does that mean you have a zero budget? You will need at least a small budget. I would say the most expensive thing is getting a ghostwriter. So there are tools, obviously, to help you create your own book. Of course, if you are a writer or if you know how to do this yourself, that's great. It will just cost you a lot of time. So if it doesn't cost you money, it's going to cost you time. So it really is what you have available. And for a lot of people, they don't have a choice. It's just going to cost them a lot of time. So you have to be willing to put in the time. Nothing is going to be completely easy. There is no business out there that does not require either time or money. The next thing is, should you invest in tools such as BookBeam or BookBalt or Publisher Rocket? Like, these are amazing tools and they do help speed up the process. But when you're starting, should you invest in them? Well, obviously, it's really up to you, but the amount of time that you would be saving, for example, with Publisher Rocket, you have to do research. Like, that is the most important part of your KDP success, or it determines if your book is going to be a success or not, which means if you don't have tools, you're going to put in a lot of time just doing the research. So I'm going to go look at the tools with you, and I'm going to compare how much time you would be spending without the tools compared to how much time it would be saving or you would be spending with the tools. So let's go to my computer.
Here I am in incognito mode for Amazon. That is so I don't have it biased towards my search history. So what we want to do is find a possible niche and see if we could also find keywords or keywords that are relevant that will also lead us to a niche that we could possibly be interested in, have experience in, or just, have a passion about or want to write or create. This is going to be obviously according to what you are interested in, but we're going to see what we can find together and how we do research just by using Amazon. So let's go to bestsellers and let's go to books. And now you're going to find all of the top 100 in all of books. You could go skim through it if you'd like. It might give you some ideas to start your search. Let's go deeper into the subcategories so we could find something that is profitable, but not as difficult or competitive as the top 100. So I'm going to go to teens because that's an interesting one I don't usually look into. And let's look at personal health. This could be a subject matter or a niche that might have some possibilities. So we're looking at the top 100 in a sub category. And then you can go even deeper here. Look at these. These are all under personal health. But let's look at this first. Now, there's all different types of books here. And you can see that if you have the Bookbeam plugin, you should be able to see the ranking of the books, which is the most important thing. And you'll be able to see how many sales they're making and an estimated amount of royalties per day. And also, what's nice is it shows you when it was published. So this one's like, for example, 5 years and 8 months ago, 7 months ago. So you can see if there are some very recent books that are ranking really, really well. Usually the ones that are in this top 100 or at least the top 20 will be books that are successful and that are selling really well. You can see here there's a wide range of topics like cursive handwriting workbook for teens. I've actually never seen that before, but that's a medium content book that could be interesting. Self-love for teen girls, an empowering guide. That sounds interesting and it's created pretty recent. The growth mindset for teens, growing up great. This is puberty, grown-up stuff, teen girl survival guide, mindset and self-love. Everything you need to know before you're 16. Let's see what else is there. Life skills for girls, believe in yourself. I think this is a coloring book. Okay, so we have a lot of different things. I'm trying to find something I've never really looked into before. A lot of devotionals and life skills. All of these are really ranking well in 47,000, 50,000, 30,000. Mini habits for teens. Let's just look at this one. I want to see what kind of a book this is. Mini habits for teens, small changes to help you navigate life's challenges. So what kind of a book is this? Habit building, also bought with it life skills. These are books that are sponsored on this page, and these are related books. This is building self-confidence. There is mindset growth. There is social skills. So these are all different things. They're not exactly related to habits. This is interesting. I've never really seen a book about habits for teens. So there's a possibility that this book is doing well because the author is well known and they already have an audience. But just to make sure, I'm going to go up here and type in habits. Let's see if Amazon is suggesting anything. Habits for 7 habits of highly effective teens. Teen habits. Let's do teen habits. Okay, so teen habits actually has 20,000 results. That is a lot of results. And the top book, the 7 habits of highly effective teens, I think this is just another version of the adult one. This one's ranking number 2 for that keyword. Time management and life skills for teens, highly effective teens, personal workbook, that probably goes with the book on top, investing guide for teens. So that has nothing to do with habits. And I think this is, the other one was sponsored. Wealthy habits for teens. It's not ranking well. Successful teen girl habits. Guided journal for teens, mini habits for teen success, growth mindset for teens, finance and money skills. Okay, so there are a lot of results that show up for this keyword that are not related to habits. But I can tell that there are a lot of people buying a book for habits for teens because this one is doing really well and its workbook is also doing really well. And this one is also doing really well. And I don't see that there are a lot of books really related to it. And the ones that are and aren't doing very well, this was created a year ago and they only have 12 reviews. So they're not really doing what they should be doing in getting reviews after a long time. And this one was created a year ago and only 15 reviews, should have much more reviews. Well, this one's doing very well. It's got 101 reviews and created 6 months ago. Let's look at that one. So wealthy habits for teens, money and finance skills, building wealth and avoiding debt. So there's a lot of keywords here. I'm going to try searching for other keywords that could be related to this. Say, for example, teen financial planning. Let's try that. Teen financial planning. The first one that shows up. This one is not doing that well. This one's not doing that well. And these are all related to finances for investment guide for teens. They're doing very, very well. How to adult personal finance for the real world. Well, they're doing really well too, doing very well. And it's a 4-year-old book. So there could be some potential in this niche, but what I'm doing is I'm trying to find keywords. I want to know what the keywords are that people are using to get this type of book and what type of book are they actually looking for. So I actually started out by looking at habits for teens. And that kind of led me to finances for teens. But that is not going to be obviously the only keywords that are used. This particular set of keywords or long tail keywords has very good results, 183 results. So that is very good. But I actually don't know if these keywords are searchable. Like how many people are actually searching that particular set of keywords. If not a lot of people are searching for those set of keywords in that order, then this is not going to be very beneficial to me, but it has led me to finding an idea. So let's just make it a shorter version and say teen finance book. Okay, now we're getting a lot more results. We got 20,000. Money skills for teens, investment guide for teens, also doing well. So looking at this, I'm getting more ideas for possible keywords for closely related topics in this area. I just put in teen finance book, but other words that I could possibly use are money, money skills, budgeting, saving, investing, investment guide. So those are different keywords. I'm just looking at these titles and they give me a little bit more ideas of possible keywords that could relate to this topic. So I somehow moved away from the habits one and found myself looking at finances for teens, finance guide, financial literacy. So all of these are possibilities and I would have to go in and search. So what I would do is I would probably have an Excel sheet or Google Sheets and just copy paste money skills, financial literacy, money management, investing, investment, all of these possible keywords. I would put it in a spreadsheet and then go here and search. For example, financial literacy for teens shows up right here. Okay, now we have 2,000 results, which is definitely a lot better. Not a lot of results. I'm not quite sure how many people are searching for this, but enough for Amazon to suggest it for me. We're going to see some of the same books again here showing up, which means that all of these books are trying to rank for a lot of these same keywords that I would have copy pasted to my spreadsheet. So you're going to notice a lot of the same books. You're going to have to go through every single one of these possible keywords, at least to see how many search results show up. You won't really know how many people are actually searching, but you just know that it's enough that Amazon is suggesting it to you. That means there's enough people searching, but you won't know how many people are searching. Then that will also take a lot of your time and effort and energy. But if you can do that, that would be a great way to do research. Let's open Publisher Rocket. Now, if we're going to use Publisher Rocket, we would have already come to the idea using the same method here where we're searching through the bestsellers and then we find a book that seems interesting. We would go to the keyword search and we can type in, let's put in teen finances. Okay, so not a lot of different possibilities. So what I like about Publisher Rocket is that you're going to put in the keyword and this will also give you more ideas because as you look at these, for example, the same thing I did when on Amazon is I will see other keywords that I might not have thought about, and then I can type that in and search and see what other type of keywords will show up for that. Teens made easy, personal finance, finance skills. So let's click on this to find out how many searches per month. Put these out. So 600. So these have decent searches per month. This is actually not too bad. Just for this keyword, and I know that these are not the only keywords. So this helps me to get an idea how many searches per month these keywords are getting, these very specific long tail keywords. I would get some ideas here. So let's use money skills. So let's do a new search right here and put money skills teens. Now, the nice thing is I'm going to put in the keywords that I want, but obviously I don't really care that much about the order. And that's just going to get me all of the possible keywords. This one, money skills teens, actually does have a good amount of searches, competitive scores, not bad. Money skills for teens, and then the rest really don't have that much searches. So let's say money management. Well, let's just say money teens and see what shows up with that. So now we have money book for teens, 1,400. Money books for teens, a completely different set of keywords just by adding books. And that has its own number, 1,200. So that shows there's a lot of people looking for this subject matter generally. money teens book, teens money, money for teens, money skills for teens, money lessons for teens. These are all keywords that you could possibly look at. So you can use lessons, you can use workbook, you can use management. You still have searches here. Make money, manage money, saving money. I didn't think about that one. That's giving you more ideas. And this really does save you so much time. You don't have to sit and guess how many people are searching for that keyword. You don't have to take that risk of using a keyword. Maybe you're using a keyword that has less than 100 searches. You don't want that. You want to know which words are actually being searched, and you want to know the competitive score. For example, this one, Money Workbook for Teens, if it has a very low competitive score, that would be a good book. I would consider trying to use these words in my title. We're going to look at the competition analyzer, and this will show you really quick the top books that show up on the first page of those set of keywords. And you will see the monthly sales amount. You will see how old the book is. You'll see its bestseller ranking overall, how many pages it has, the price, and how much they're making per day. So all of that information is very valuable that you can use to assess if it's something you want to get into. If none of these are making that much money, maybe you shouldn't create a book like that because it has no audience. So this all is going to help you decide if you want to go with these keywords. Let's go back here to the keyword search. So overall, this is so much faster. In my opinion, I think it is definitely worth the investment. The wonderful thing about Publisher Rocket is it's a one-time fee rather than paying a subscription, whether it's monthly or annually. They're always going to keep updating and changing things. They've added the reverse ASIN lookup, where you can look at a specific book and then find out what words that book is ranking for. Definitely something that you cannot do. For example, let's see, this is a book that's doing really well. Let's click on it. So let's get the ASIN and copy it. Let's go to Publisher Rocket. Let's just put it here, and it pulls up the book, and this will show you what keywords this book is actually ranking for specifically. The main keyword that it's ranking for is the very specific book that it is. Evan Moore. So it's being searched for by the publishers. People are searching for this particular publisher. So that gives you an idea that if they are doing well, they're doing well because of their brand, not because they are actually ranking for the keywords. So that gives you more information on how books are being found, what keywords they're ranking for. Are those keywords relevant to you? There's so much valuable information. Is it worth getting Publisher Rocket? That's really up to you. But if you go the manual route, it will take a lot more time, and there's no real way to find out how many people are actually searching for those keywords and if that keyword is too competitive or not. So a lot of the stuff that you're going to be doing on your own, which you could do as a start, and if you don't have the money, you still won't know how competitive those keywords are. You can only get an idea by looking at the number of results that show up and the type of books that show up for that keyword. I hope that helps, and I hope that helps you to decide if you want to use something like Publisher Rocket or Bookbeam, which I also use as well. I haven't had a chance to show you, but it works pretty much the same way. You might find different results. They obtain that information a little bit differently, but it still gives you an idea of which keywords you want to run with. And if you enjoyed this video and if you learned something, please leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you, and don't forget to subscribe and like, and I will see you in the next video.